For the last 4 or 5 business days, 11 MAGA Republicans in the House of Representatives with the Freedom Caucus, led basically by Matt Gaetz and Lauren Boebert, have prevented the Republican-controlled House from being able to do anything because they blocked procedural bills that were necessary to pass in order to bring regular bills to the House floor. In fact, last week, Kevin McCarthy, the Republican Speaker of the House, called off the last few days of last week's session because they couldn't even do anything. And these MAGA Republicans indicated that they would not budge for any reason. They're going to continue to basically hold Congress hostage because they didn't get their way on the debt ceiling deal. Well, late yesterday it was announced that these 11 MAGA Republicans have decided that they will, temporarily they say, stop their blockade so that a couple pieces of legislation can in fact move through the House. And they are indicating, like I said, that this is only a temporary pass. After that, they're going to go right back to obstruction, apparently. But what's interesting is that before these Republicans announced, okay, we'll let some things go, a report came out documenting how Republicans in the Senate are growing increasingly terrified and, of course, pissed off at their idiot Republican counterparts in the House of Representatives, likening them, by the way, to the behavior of children. Let me read a couple of these quotes here. This is Republican Senator Kevin Cramer. He said this: "They love attention and they behave well when you're giving them a lot of it. And then, as soon as you're done giving them attention, they get mad and you've got to give them more attention. I'm not sure some of them understand the magnitude of their responsibility, quite honestly. There's a group of them, evidently, who didn't want a Republican speaker. They wanted a Republican king. We have a majority in one chamber, but they're not governing. I'm concerned about their ability to function." Then you had Republican Senator Mike Rounds, who said, quote, "The House is emotional. This is just the way once in a while people act out, and that's just part of the process. They'll handle it. It'll be okay." Really? Like, they just act out. You got to give them space. You don't give them the attention when they're throwing the temper tantrum. You know, you got to be one of those parents that just lets their kid lie on the floor of the Walmart screaming and crying because they're not able to get the toy. And once the tantrum, of course, has ended, you say, okay, are you done? Well, then let's go check out now. That's what Mike Rounds would have us do with these Republicans who are blocking your legislation, by the way. Like, I'm actually not having any problem with Republicans not being able to push through Republican legislation in the House of Representatives. One, it shows the public how dysfunctional the Republicans are, so that's not going to bode well for them in next year's election. But two, Republicans don't have any good pieces of legislation coming out, right? It's not like they're sitting on a Medicare for All bill that they're waiting to pass once these Republicans stop throwing their temper tantrum. No. Do you know what they're sitting on right now waiting to pass? A tax cut for the wealthy. So I don't give a damn if Congress totally shuts down and doesn't pass legislation, because we don't need more trickle-down economics. We don't need more of these tax scams perpetrated by Republican idiots. But that's, of course, why they're blocking or doing away with the impasse for the time being. They got to get those tax cuts. Of course, they have to get the National Defense Authorization Act up and running. They got to pass that farm bill, because, you know, we don't want to piss off the farmers out there in red America, because then they'll hold us responsible. So they're going to do some lip service. They're going to do some performative actions to take care of the defense industry, the red state farmers, and of course their wealthy donors with the tax bills. But then after that, they're right back to their temper tantrum, making sure nothing else passes, and of course continuing to piss off their Republican counterparts in the Senate. Thanks for watching, everyone, and well, here comes the awkward part at the end of the video, where I ask you to like, comment, and share, and subscribe for more content from Ring of Fire. Also, you should consider becoming a member for some exclusive content and perks, including early access videos and exclusive videos. Check out the link in the description.